What is up, everybody? Today's the big day. I'm putting in that head unit. I have to redo some of the speaker wires. I have an amp underneath the front seat, but I want to take that out and have the tweeters and the mid-range speakers hooked up to the audio processor that I got. I'm going to try it out. If it sounds good enough for me, then we'll just leave that disconnected from the amp and take that out. Get some of that rewired, and then we'll get the head unit put in, and hopefully it's going to sound a lot better than what we have with this factory unit here. All right, let's get going. The wires for the tweeters and the mid-range, I was able to pull them over this far. I just need to get them soldered to this connector right here. So the powered output from this audio processor is going to power those instead of that amp. So we're going to get this out just by prying on it gently. And we've got 4 10mm bolts that need to be taken out. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. After you got those loose, just pull it straight out. And we'll disconnect all the connectors in the back over here. There we go. There's the old one. Cut the ends off of this harness too, because I don't plan on reusing it again. So that harness that I just cut out, it's just a pass-through that I made, so I didn't have to cut any of the factory harnesses when I did the original setup. Didn't want anybody to freak out on me about cutting any factory harnesses, so that's what that was. And sometimes it pays to read the directions first. So put that part together first and then attach it to the head unit. The connector for my RCAs that goes up into the head unit. It's running back behind. It's coming down here, and I actually ended up using some barrel connectors to connect my RCAs together. So there's a 2-foot piece. I think it's 2 feet. It's coming from up here. It's connected to the harness going down, and then I've got these other RCA cables running down to the processor underneath down this way. So I do have to readjust this bracket because I want to have the screen as low as I can get it. It's got 4 screws right here. They have to be taken out, and then you can adjust it however you need it. All right, for now, I'll just adjust it to where this bracket is at the highest point. I might move the head unit from the top space to the bottom, see if I can get a better fit that way, but I'm gonna do this just to make sure I can get everything powered up first. All right, everyone. I tried to put the screen in and it's pretty inconvenient with the Tacoma. The way that this part lifts out, it gets real difficult to put the screen in. I mean, I was able to snap it in just fine, but there's a piece that's got to go in there, and if it's not in there, then the unit won't stay on. And another thing I did notice, the kit doesn't fit flush right here like it does right here. So I don't know if I need to put a spacer in there or something, but I'm gonna try to get that fixed. So I got the radio powered up. As long as I can get that little power plate in there somehow, then I should be able to get it turned on. But I mean, I just don't see any way physically possible to get those screws in there. And you can see the 4 holes that we need to screw into. If you go straight up, you can't even see the other hole right there. And then now put the trim piece on there. You look straight down, can't see any of it. So I don't even see a way that you'd be able to get the screws in there at all. So I'm glad I can help anybody out that can't get this done, because this is crazy.
We got it.
Moment of truth. So this is the main screen here. You got different inputs. You can use USB. There's HDMI connection, which I don't have in there yet. Got auxiliary input, and you can also connect Bluetooth to the head unit. If you go to vehicle info down here, you have your gauges, some stuff that doesn't normally show up on your dash. And if your car's got broken gauges, then you can use this. Got vehicle information. Shows you your battery voltage over here. If you tap this button up top, that's how you can get to your audio adjustment to change all that stuff. You can set everything like the crossovers, the fader, and the EQ. And of course, adjust the bass and the treble and subwoofer level as well. It's got everything that most car radios have. So of course, AM, FM radio, HDMI, auxiliary, Bluetooth. This one comes with Tidal, and you've also got a USB connection if you wanted to put a flash drive in. I'll mainly be using this for CarPlay, so I won't even really see these screens too often. CarPlay can either be wired or wireless, but you got all the audio apps that you need. So Apple Music, if you use that, Spotify, Amazon, whatever you use. And then you got Maps also. Yeah, my truck is a 2019, so it doesn't have CarPlay like all the years after it. So this is what I had to get to make up for that. But it's not too bad. The audio sounds a lot better than it did on the old radio. I still haven't tuned everything on the audio processor, so it doesn't sound as good as it could actually get, but it's definitely a step up from what it was. So most of the features here are retained, and you got all your fuel economy and vehicle info all still working. The screen for GPS, nothing shows up on here. If you're using a flash drive, it'll give all the music information on here, but if you're connected to CarPlay, it doesn't show anything. But besides that, everything else on here is retained. Also got some buttons down here. That one has navigation. That one's for Siri. Probably the coolest thing on here, you can turn on the backup camera whenever you want. So just tap on that, and there it is. The old head unit was low resolution, and I'm using the factory camera still. It's a bit fuzzy, but it does what it's supposed to do. But there's a rattle coming from the dash kit, the little pocket in there. Just the way that the pocket is mounted in there, it's not really tight. Yeah, it's bad. So I jumped ahead a little bit just to make sure I could actually get the screen installed. And so I'm gonna have to take that screen back out and then go through that whole thing with the power plate again. And then I also have to fix that rattle coming from the dash kit. And I think I found a way to put those screws in somehow, but I'll save that for the next video. If you have any questions or comments, just leave it below. Consider subscribing if you like this kind of content, and share the video if you think it'll be helpful to somebody. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.